Hello and welcome back to the Ignatian Yoga Lenten series. During these 40 days of Lent, it's a time when Catholics often spend time in fasting, a time when you may give up something or add something into your life during these days. Perhaps it's giving up candy, carbs, alcohol, a certain iPhone app, or maybe adding something into your life, such as journaling, prayer, or daily Mass. Whatever you may be fasting from, or whatever it is you may be adding into your life during these days, I invite you to consider and return to this intention underneath this practice. As I mentioned last week, the goal for Ignatius is to be in relationship with God, to know, to discover, and to align your life with God's plan. But this requires careful discernment. This requires using these different practices and tools, the gifts that God has given us, and to be able to help us realize and live out this goal. In Pope Francis's Lenten address, he spoke about fasting. I'd like to read a little excerpt from Pope Francis's 2018 Lenten address. Fasting weakens our tendency to violence. It disarms us and becomes an important opportunity for growth. On the one hand, it allows us to experience what the destitute and the starving have to endure. On the other hand, it expresses our own spiritual hunger and thirst for life in God. Fasting wakes us up. It makes us more attentive to God and our neighbor. It revives our desire to obey God, who alone is capable of satisfying our hunger. I would like my invitation to extend beyond the bounds of the Catholic Church and to reach all of you, men and women of goodwill, who are open to hearing God's voice. Perhaps, like ourselves, you are disturbed by the spread of iniquity in the world. You are concerned about the chill that paralyzes hearts and actions. And you see a weakening in our sense of being members of one human family. Join us then in raising our plea to God, in fasting, and in offering whatever you can to our brothers and sisters in need. So we fast and we engage in spiritual practices both to deepen this personal relationship with and love with God, but also to share this love and service to our brothers and sisters, especially to those most in need. So it's both this journey inwards, but also a journey outwards. And this is what we really try to focus on in Ignatian Yoga, is as we journey inwards and discover who God created us to be at our core, we're also being called outwards into the world. So during the class this evening, I invite you to take some time to go deeper. Allow God to reveal to you who you are at your core. And reconnect with this intention. What is your desire? What is the intention of the kind of person that you are being called to be in the world? And how you can take this love, take this connection that you may experience tonight and guide it into the world. And so you can be of love and be of service to all of God's people, especially to those who are most in need. In the yoga class this evening, or whenever you're engaging in this class, we'll focus on side bends and twists as a way of wringing out, as a way of cleansing ourselves, detoxing, and making more space to go deeper and to connect with that intention, clearing through that which holds us back, and using more of what helps us move deeper in this journey of both the inward movement and the outward movement into the world. So thank you very much for joining in, and I hope you enjoy the class. Okay, so in today's class we're going to be doing some twists and side bends to detox, to open up ourselves during this time of Lent. So let's start out in mountain pose, so standing with your feet right underneath the hips. Stand with a straight spine, lifting up through the top of the head, and just open up your palms, close the eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Feeling yourself grounded and rooted through the feet, but then lifting up through the head. And take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. Your next inhale, lift the hands up to the sky. Exhale, release the hands down. 2 more times like this. Inhale, nice, slow, big stretch up. Exhale, bring your hands back down. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands back down. We're just going to sway side to side to start to warm up the spine. So just tapping opposite hip. Just starting to awaken, starting to bring some movement to that spine. Tap opposite shoulder. Moving a little bit faster. Nice, and bring your hands back to center. Shake out the hands. Okay, bring the hands back down, and let's roll the shoulders. So bring the shoulders forward and then up towards the ears, and wrap them back and around, taking 3 circles in each direction. Just really slow, big circles as you exhale, release out, exhaling out some of the tension. Just we're twisting, we're wringing out the stuff that doesn't help us, the stuff that gets in the way of connecting with our goal. Roll around the other direction. Good, and then coming back, and we'll lift the hands back up to the sky, and we're coming into a side bend. So with your left hand, so I'll be mirroring you, so with your left hand, reach for your right wrist, and lift up and over and side bend over to your left side. Press the hips over to the right as you reach to the left. One more. Exhale, bending a little bit more over. And inhale, come back to center. Reach up and switch sides with the right hand. Grab the left wrist and side bend over to the right. Press the hips to the left. Open that shoulder. And come on back to center. This time bring your hands behind your back. Clasp your hands behind the back. Wrap the shoulder blades around the back of the heart. Gaze up at the ceiling. And exhale, fold forward. Little bend to your knees. And then release the hands. And grab opposite elbow, fold forward. Find length in your neck. Let the head hang heavy. And release the hands. Bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back. Exhale, fold forward. 1 more time. Inhale, halfway lift. And on your exhale, bring your hands to the ground and step back to plank, top of a push-up. And from the plank pose, lower the knees, chin and chest to the ground. And inhale, come to your baby Cobra with the hands right underneath the shoulders. Find length in the neck, lift up through the heart, through the chest. Let the shoulders come back and down. And tuck the toes, come to hands and knees. And let's pause in your tabletop hands and knees pose. Let's take a few cat-cows to continue to warm up the spine. So with the wrists right under the ankles, knees under the hips, take a few cat-cows. Inhale, point the tailbone up, lift up through the heart. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck the chin towards chest, lift up through the spine. Inhale, point through the tailbone. Exhale, curve the spine, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Imagine a string pulling you up from the center of the chest. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to your child's pose, taking a couple breaths down in child's pose. Extend your hands out in front of you. Press down through the hands and lift up through the forearms and the elbows. Find some length in the spine. Reconnect with that deep Ujjayi breath. Reconnect with your intention. What is your intention during this time of Lent? What is your intention for this class? And come on back to hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we'll come into downward dog. So from hands and knees, walk your hands a little bit further forward. Hands shoulder distance apart, middle fingers pointing forward. Tuck the toes underneath and lift the hips up and back. Take a few breaths here, maybe pedaling out the knees, bend one knee and straighten the other. Push the ground away from you, send those hips up and back, find lots of length in the spine. Good, on your inhale, lift the right leg up and back. And exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Lower the left knee to the ground. Good, and we're starting to move more into our twists now. So keep the left hand on the ground. That back foot can be tucked or untucked. And then bring your right hand to the right knee. Start to twist the chest towards the right. You can keep your hand on the knee or lift the right hand up to the sky and turn the chest out towards the right side, possibly even gazing up at the hand. Good, come on back, and let's lift up to a high lunge. Keeping that knee bent, reach up. And exhale, bring the hands down to the ground, step back to downward dog. Inhale to lift the left leg up and back. Exhale, step the left foot between the hand, lower the right knee, and keep the right hand on the ground. You can bring the left hand to the left knee and start to twist open over to the left. Twist the chest, open up, and either keeping that left hand on the knee or lift the left arm up to the sky. Feel the twist in the spine as you exhale, wringing out the distractions, the toxins, the obstacles that hold you back from moving deeper into your intention. And lower the hand back to the ground. And now both hands will lift up into that low lunge. Deep bend in the front left knee. Imagine you've got a ball or block between your hands. And bring the hands back to the ground and step back to downward dog. And taking a couple more breaths in downward dog. Inhale, shift forward again to plank. Exhale, lower down the knees, chin and chest. Inhale to Cobra. And exhale, lower back down. We're going to take 2 more Cobras. With the hands right underneath the shoulders again. Inhale, press down through the tops of the feet. Lift up through the shoulders, but drop the shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, lower back. And one more time, coming up a little higher, pressing into the hands. And perhaps, if it feels okay for your back, taking a twist over the left shoulder, gaze back to the left foot. If this doesn't feel right for you, just pause in a Cobra pose. Come back to center and look back over your right shoulder. And come back to center. Come back to hands and knees, to downward dog. And from downward dog, we'll gently walk the feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, lower the hands back down. Okay, and we're going to move into a Warrior 2 sequence with a twist. So we'll come into Warrior 2 from standing. So take your right foot, the right foot right at towards the front of the mat, in the very middle of the mat. Step the left foot back about 4 feet or so back behind you. And that's to measure out the hands. Actually, let's turn both feet parallel to each other and find your ankles right underneath the wrists. So a good way to measure your feet distance for Warrior 2 is to find the ankles right underneath the wrists. Now again, turn that right foot out for Warrior 2 and bend deeply through that front right knee. Nice. And so you're in heel to arch alignment. So if you drew a line from the heel of the front foot, it would line up with the arch of the back foot. And again, just check in with that knee, make sure the knee's right above the ankle, and then gaze over the fingertips. Send your fingers in opposite directions, soften the shoulders down, and tuck your tailbone slightly. So if you're sticking the tailbone out, tuck it underneath and find lots of length in the spine. Breathe. And now inhale, straighten both legs, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, back to Warrior 2. Inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale, back to Warrior 2. Inhale, keep both legs straight, and the exhale will reverse the triangle. So left hand down, left leg, right hand reaches up and back. Find lots of lift and length in the right side. Reaching up a little bit more, finding more length in that rib cage, from the foot all the way up through the hand. And exhale, back to Warrior 2. And from Warrior 2, we'll come into side angle pose. So bring the right elbow just above the right knee and left hand up to the sky. Good, and from side angle now we're going to come into a twist. So a few options here. So start to shift forward, turning the torso, turning the chest towards the right leg, and then coming back to that lunge like we did before. Left hand comes to the ground, left knee can come to the ground. And then so we can repeat the twist as we did before. Or another option is to bring the hands to prayer and then take the left elbow to the outside of right knee. Again, left knee can stay on the ground or can lift off the ground and take that prayer twist. If that's too much for this time, then coming back to any other variation of that twist. Wherever you're at, just take a few more deep breaths. And your next exhale, we'll step the left foot forward to meet the right foot. Fold forward. And slowly coming up one vertebra at a time. Nice. And then we'll repeat that sequence on the other side. So with the left foot right towards the front of the mat, in the very middle of the mat, now step the right foot back. And I'm going to flip around to face the camera again. But repeating on the other side, so left leg. Let's again parallel the feet and just measure out the distance under the ankles. So they approximately wrist distance apart with the ankles. And then turn that left foot. Deep bend in that front left knee, but make sure the knee's right above the ankle, not extending out to the side or beyond, just to keep that knee safe. And gaze over the left fingertips, soften the shoulders down. Take a couple deep breaths and feel that energy moving out from the heart space out through the arms. Next, inhale, straighten both legs, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, inhale, keep the legs straight this time, reverse triangle, right hand down, right leg, left hand reaches up and back. Feel that extension from the left foot, left heel, all the way up through the leg, the wrists, the rib cage. One more inhale, reach up and back a little bit more. And exhale, back to warrior two. And from warrior two into side angle pose. So the side angle of your choice. The side angle that I'm going to demonstrate is the standard one with the left elbow above the left knee and right hand up to the sky. If you're wanting to go into this pose deeper, you're always welcome to bring your hand down to inside or outside the foot or down to a block. Wherever you're at, just open that chest, feel that right shoulder open. And then we're going to come into the twist. So turn the torso, come to the ball of the back foot, the right foot, turn the torso down, and then come into your twist. So maybe it's bringing the hands back to the ground and knee back to the ground, keeping the right hand on the ground, left hand to knee. Maybe it's coming in. The deepest expression of this pose that I'll offer today is the prayer twist. So bringing your hands from prayer with the knee lifted and take that twist. Gaze over the left shoulder, pull the left hip back, but there's many variations of this. So hand at the ground, right hand at the ground, left hand at the knee can be on the ground. And wherever you're at, come back and step the right foot to meet the left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And come back up to standing. Nice. And from standing, we're going to come down to taking a seat now. So come on down. You can stay on the long way of your mat. And we're going to come into a couple seated twists. So let's begin with taking your left leg. So again, I'm mirroring you here. So your left leg crosses over the right leg. You can stay right here as an option. If you want to take it up one step, you can bend that right leg. This is Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes. And press down through that left toe if you've got the leg crossed under. Okay, so you're welcome to stay here. I'm going to demonstrate the version that has the leg long. And then a couple options here for the twist. So you can take that right arm and wrap it around the left knee, or you can hook the elbow to the outside and then take your left hand and bring the left hand behind you as a kickstand to help you find lift and length. On your inhale, find length, and exhale, twist around to the right, to the left, gaze over the left shoulder. One more, inhale, twisting around, and keep the legs where they're at, come back to center, and we'll counter twist to the other side. Just keeping the legs right there, and just take a twist over to the right side. And come back to center, and switch legs. So the left leg can come long, and the right leg crosses over. You can keep that leg straight, or bend the left leg back, but if you bend the left leg, try to root down through both sit bones as best as possible. So instead of sitting on the foot, pull the foot out slightly. Good. So you can keep your legs there. I'm going to come back to that extended leg, and then we'll twist around to the right side. So either that the left arm can reach around the leg, or you can hook the elbow to the outside of the right leg and bring the right hand behind you as a kickstand to help lift and lengthen through the spine. And use that left hand, left arm to help you twist around to the right. Your inhale, find length and extension in the spine, and exhale, twist over, gaze over the right shoulder. On your exhale, just soften in to this twist. Come on back to center. Take the counter twist over to the left side. And come on back to center. Extend both legs long. And keeping the right leg long, bend the left knee like a tree pose, pressing the foot into the left foot into the right leg. Now bring the right arm inside as best as possible inside that right leg. Reach the left arm up to the sky and then overhead, reaching for the right toes. So flex the right foot, point the right toes back towards you, and reach, and you'll feel a lot of extension, a lot of stretch in that left rib cage. Just breathe into that. And now turn your torso over the right leg, fold forward over the right leg, head towards knee pose. Your hands can come to shins, to ankle, to foot perhaps, but no need to overextend. Just find lengthen through the spine, lead with the heart. A little bend to your knee may be a nice option, and then let the head be the last to drop down towards the knee. Wherever you're at, just breathe deeply. Your inhale, you're finding length in the spine. Exhale, soften in. Come on back up and switch legs. Extend the right leg, extend the left leg, and press the right foot into the inner left thigh. Bring the left arm inside the left leg and reach the arm up to the sky and reach up and over. Point the left toes back towards you. Open the right shoulder. Turn the chest so the top of the ribs lift up and open, and the left ribs, the bottom ribs, scoop underneath. And breathe into those right ribs. And now turn the torso over the left leg, fold forward. Janu Shirsasana, head towards knee pose. Find length and extension, and then soften on the exhale. And slowly come back up. Extend both legs long. Bring your hands to your side and just shake those legs. Now bend the knees, and we'll just windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Nice, and now come back to lying down on your back. And setting up like a bridge pose here with your feet right underneath the knees. Bring your heels in close enough that you can touch the heels. And inhale, lift the hips off the ground for a little short bridge pose, but then just bring the right hips over to the right side. And drop the right hips, then bring the knees up and over to the left. For our last reclined spinal twist, soften both shoulders to the ground, turn your gaze over the right shoulder. If you want to use that left hand to the top of the right leg can be a nice option to help just hold yourself in that twist. So knees are to the left, your gaze is turned to the right, and the right shoulder is softened down to the ground. And slowly come back to center. Bring the feet to the ground with the knees bent. And back to that bridge. Lift the hips off the ground. And now take the hips over to the left side of the mat. And lift the knees up and over to the right. Let the knees to the right side. Soften the left shoulder to the ground. Turn your gaze to the left. Maybe using the right hand at the top, the outside of the left leg, left thigh. And turn your gaze over to the left side. And breathe. And come on back to center. Hug the knees into the chest. Squeeze it all in. And exhale, release into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Let the legs come long, let the feet fall open, palms face up to the sky. And just surrender. Allow yourself to just rest in God's hands.
Take, Lord, and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and my entire will. All I have and call my own, you have given all to me. To you, Lord, I return it. Everything is yours. Do with it what you will. Give me only your love and your grace. That is enough for me.
I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you have, or take some time now in silence. Perhaps just taking some time to pray, some time to journal, some time to allow God to reveal the intention, the grace for you during these days of Lent. If you're with a group of other people also practicing this, I invite you to take some time to share some of the graces from what was shared, and most of all, how God spoke to you through your own body, through your breath, and through your these desires that stirred in you. So thank you very much for being with this Ignatian Yoga series. And I look forward to more next week. If you have been with us through this whole class tonight, I look forward to your feedback, and please share with me what you'd like more of in the coming weeks. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful week ahead, and many blessings upon your time of Lent. Namaste.